All right, thank y'all for tuning in, man. This is episode number 2 of the Timo Show. I'm Coach C, and that is Coach Timo.
Sir, sir.
All right, man, Coach Timo, we're just gonna get straight into it, man. Last week, Friday, man, we had a big win, 41-13 against Coral Springs, man. What's your initial thoughts on that win that we was able to get last week, Friday?
It was huge for the program. I got some seniors in the program that have spent, this is going to be their 4th year in the program, and they never had a run the clock situation. The clock always will put on them the opposite way. It's the first time that they actually put the clock on somebody else. And then they start out like that. They came out, they went right down the field and they scored on us. And we had to answer the bell, and offensively went down and we scored on them. And we just kind of continued to press them. And eventually we kind of got up. I think it was like 27-6 at half or something like that, 34-6 at half. And he was able to get a couple more scores in the second half to kind of put them away. But it's a big win for the program. Second year in a row that we started out 1-0. I always keep saying, we got a program that's coming from the bottom. To be able to start out back-to-back years, year 2 for us, back-to-back years, starting out 1-0 is very, very huge for the program. The kids are flying around in practice. They move around a little different in school, when you 1-0. So it was a huge win for the program.
Doing this feels better after victory, instead of happening 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But even going back to Friday, they, like I said, they came down, they scored right away on us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Even at that point in time, because we're thinking, okay, yeah, we feel like we should do X, Y, and Z on them, but they came out and boom, 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 score on us. So what was your thoughts even at that time? Like they came down and scored,
Mm-hmm.
and it's 6-0.
Right. I think as a staff offensively, man, we always think score for score. We have the mentality offensively. We don't kind of flinch. If a defense give a touchdown or give up 3 or whatever, our mindset always score for score. Let's go score for score. So we feel like what we do offensively and some of the personnel that we got, some of the sets we got, formations, all those kind of things like that we can go score for score with pretty much almost anybody. Now, there's going to be some programs they're going to outman us and things of that nature. But when we can match up with you talent-wise and size-wise, we'll go score for score with you. So we don't flinch in that. We don't, pout, moan, none of that. We just going to go score for score with you. So we don't really, we don't flinch in those situations.
All right. So like I said, we scored 2 touchdowns first quarter, 2 touchdowns second quarter. I think 2 touchdowns again coming out of third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
We were able. Us being a running team, we were able to still score through 2 passing touchdowns, man.
Right.
So what was the kind of thinking behind staying balanced? And what were you kind of seeing out there to say, okay, hey, we don't just got to run it, we can also throw it to score too.
I think most teams kind of come into the game thinking that we can't throw the football. Most of the time, we run by choice. We could spin it, and we can show you that we could spin it. I think Q probably was 4 out of 5. I think he only had 1 incomplete ball. He was 4 out of 5. We had very, very explosive plays. I think we had 2 touchdown passes. The one to Turmarian, I think, was like over 40, and then the one to Palmer had to be over like 50. Mm-hmm. So we had 2 explosive passes. Nice balls. And then Q also dick and donkey. So we got a good passing game. We got a good quarterback back there that can make those kind of throws. But we run by choice. We built everything in our program that we do in the off season, that we do in the weight room, is built to run the football. But we also can throw the ball. We got some explosive guys on the outside. We got Clarence Davis, number 3, that's a threat. We got Turmarian Moreland, that's a Z, that's a threat. We got Mike Kelly, the freshman, that's a threat. Zachariah could do some things at tight end, that's a freshman. So we got some things that we could do on the outside as well in the perimeter game. But for the most part, like I said again, we try to stay balanced to keep you kind of off beat. And we can keep you off beat to what you're doing defensively. I think we kind of can control the game if you're thinking pass and run. But if you're only thinking one thing, a lot of the times, you can load the balls, or if you're thinking pass, you can kind of get guys in the secondary. But if I can get you off schedule defensively, I think we can control the game.
Oh man, we had a big game from Christopher Holmes, man. 10 carries, 159 yards, 3 touchdowns, man. What do you got to say about that, man? Chris Holmes,
yeah,
putting the game like he did.
And the big thing, Chris ain't played the second half on that. I think he had all the 159 in the first 2 quarters, something like that. He may play a quarter
the,
in there.
the third touchdown was
in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I think it was like the first drive, third quarter.
First play in the third. Yeah. So he didn't play that much the second half. He finished with 159 yards. Chris different, man. Chris is different. Chris one of the kids that stayed down in the program when we came in as a staff last year. I'm sure a lot of schools around the county, well, I ain't gonna say I'm sure. I know a lot of schools in the county pulled at him to get him to transfer. Chris stayed down, as well as Palmer did. Those two guys showed you last Friday night. You know how they can be just tough for defenses, man. I mean, both of those boys, both of them boys are dogs. Chris is elite though. Chris is elite. Chris has got elite speed, elite vision. He got in the weight room this off season, put a little size on. So now he's staying downhill a little bit more than A gap, B gap kind of runs. But once he get within that A gap, B gap run, now he can get to the outside. Before we got here last year, Chris would look to go C and D gap first every single time, outrun you. Right. Now he's starting to go A to B and then get to that C. And when he get outside, man, he outrun the angles. So Chris had a huge game for us. We're looking for Chris to kind of lead us again this Thursday night against Forest Hill.
Also, man, you mentioned him a second ago, man, who had a big transition in the offseason. I mean, I remember coming back in February once we started again and just seeing the growth of Anthony Palmer. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just to see what he looked like, his body-wise, right. He put on size and strength and everything. Like that, right. And then for him to have the game that he did, man, speak on. On that, man.
Yeah. Palmer's another one, man. Palmer, I think we came in, Palmer like 170 pounds, I think I remember. I think he had red shoes, because y'all say, man, who the kid with the red shoes on? But he was like 170 pounds, and the kid just bought into it, man, and just worked in the weight room and got himself over 200 pounds. And he didn't lose. I mean, he became more explosive. So he didn't get 200 some pounds and became stiff and can't move laterally. No, Palmer put on that pound and became explosive. As you see last Friday night, man, he went out there. I mean, he could catch the football like Saquon. You know what I'm saying? Not just run, but he could catch the ball like Saquon. And when it's turned, to run the rock, Palmer another one that answered the bell. I mean, those two guys, they really will be missed. I mean, I joke with them a lot, like, you guys will be leaving here soon, that type of deal. But they'll be missed, man, because those two, again, man, stayed true to the program. We got that motto that we say you play where you stay. You know what I'm saying? And those guys, they stayed down, and they're trying to see this thing get restored here at Palm Beach Lake.
Man, another guy, speaking on the offense, who, I know, I'm proud of him. Just I only know him really 2 years. I know you've known him for 14, 15 years, man. But to be able to call a touchdown for your own son, for him to look the way he did, and also just the growth of what he did from last year. Last year he ain't catching that touchdown last year. This year, I mean, he looked like a whole different player, man.
Right.
Turmarian Jr., man. What you got to say about that?
I just think the biggest thing, and it's always, ever since he's been little, because he shared the same name as me, and people always had the thought or had the, the assumption that I just put football in them, things of that nature, but I didn't. I didn't. I had my path. I always give my kids to choose, to give them a chance to choose, what they want to do in life. My Duke, which is his nickname, Duke had to grab it, man, at 2-3 years old. Like I'm not even lying to you. Like he started playing football at 5, so he grabbed it pretty early. But he was always around me being the coach and stuff like that. So even though Duke being a sophomore, just like he was a freshman last year, Duke like a senior in his mind because he's been around the game for just so long, just standing next to me, hearing me calling plays, hearing me coach the other guys. I'm going all the way back to guys like Canoe, Tavares Martin, and Raven Saunders and all. He was around all those guys as a little boy, and just hearing me coach those guys. And now it's his turn. Now it's his turn. So out in the field, I don't view him as a sophomore. He don't play like a sophomore. He going against seniors. And he does have a spotlight on him. Because he also getting a lot of recognition when it comes to offers and stuff like that he's getting. So when you go into the game, people are game planning for him. As a sophomore. But he answered the bell. Another kid that came in the program, probably about 160, Duke up to about 185, 190 now. So right. You talking about a sophomore, 185, 190, and going 2 ways the entire game, playing both corner and receiver for us. And a lot of the time we leaving him backside on the island. So you got to be in shape to go backside on the island and turn around and go on offense the entire time. But to be able to call that play for him and he take advantage of his opportunity is kind of big. I think when I'm on the field coaching him, I kind of put the coaching hat on. I don't put that hat on a lot of the times. So I kind of put coaching, the coach hat on, when coaching him and stuff like that. But definitely, it's good to see that him progressing in the program. He came in as a freshman and played as a freshman, and now he's a sophomore, becoming a little bit more of a leader, in his locker room, and a lot of his players rally behind him. My biggest thing with him is not getting complacent, continue to put work in. We were just coming in from practice, and I see him and Coach Hillen coming in, 45 minutes out the practice on the field together, just working on, slow technique, pedal, and squeezing and things of that nature as a DB. So that shows you that he's not getting any complacent at all with some of the accolades that he's getting.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, him and all the other guys, man, offensively, we did what we needed to do. But obviously, we wouldn't have had the biggest win without a defensive play that we got. So, so who were some guys who stood out for you on the defensively, man, that really was able to kind of, because I think the way they scored the first drive and then score again to, the very, very end of the game and all of whatever was happening. Right. But so who were some guys defensively that really stepped up and stood out for you?
Back-to-back weeks, man, Tyree Allen at Mike linebacker. Number 40, Tyree Allen. Big time performance. He probably led the team in tackles again, or somewhere close to that.
No, he did.
Makai Miller, sophomore, man. Like, listen, Makai Miller, the sophomore Makai Miller, is gonna be a household name, man. I know we joke with him around here and stuff like that, dub up, and Makai Miller, man. That kid is different. He led the team in sacks last game. I think he had about 2 or 3 sacks. Probably was second on the team in tackles last week. But Makai Miller definitely was tough. Devin DeVoe, we had a lot out of him at corner. 6'2" corner, probably about 185. Another kid, Zerard Capers at free. Had his first interception. That was a big time for him. And then Jatavius Benjamin. At the other defensive end spot had a nice game as well. So we got some guys, man. But if I was to top of my mind, I'd say Tyree Allen and Makai Miller. Definitely Makai Miller, man. Number 22, man. That's I'm gonna pound the table on this. This is a Power 5 kid, man. Like wherever he decides to play, whether it's outside linebacker, in, strong safety, running back, whatever he decides to play, he one of those kind of kids.
Now as we get transition to Thursday, really. So what are some things that you saw positively, and what are some things that you saw maybe negatively that we can kind of clean up going into Thursday's game against Forest Hill?
15-yard penalties. We had too many of them. We probably had 3 for celebrating. We had 1 for running into the roughing the punter. We had another one, I think, We had one more somewhere. Two late hits. Two late hits. So 15 yard, we gotta clean that up. We gotta clean up the 15 yard penalties. Those are back breakers. One of their first touchdown came off one of those, actually.
Right.
We had them on the stop and we ran into the punter. And they ended up scoring that drive. And they didn't score again to the end of the fourth quarter. We definitely gotta clean that up. Offensively, with the starters out there, I think we scored their possession, so I can't really critique that or say something negative with those guys. But definitely we had some missing assignments. I would say that along the offensive line, who was a veteran group that we'll expect this greatness out of. But I would definitely say that also defensively, I didn't think we did a good job on the perimeter. How we was fitting the bubble, I didn't think we fit that properly. So I think those kind of things we got to clean up heading to Forest Hill. Who was a tough? I'm telling you, who's tough. What they do offensively is tough. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be a ball game.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Forest Hill, Thursday, 5:30, right?
6:30.
Said 5 Thursday, 6:30 at Forest Hill. By the time this comes out, this will be Wednesday. But yeah, so they just came off a big win.
Yeah.
What was it? They 40-something-0.
40-something-0.
Yeah, 40-something-0. They just beat John Allen Leonard.
Crosstown rivalry.
You know what I mean? So yeah, so speak on what you see out of them, because they seem to be a very formidable opponent, and we definitely got to step our game
man,
up.
they tough, man. What they do offensively, man, with that counter. They do a great job on that counter. The guards are flat. They kicking out that 5 technique. They wrapping up to that wheel of that Sam Backer. They running both strong and weak. They shift with it. They run that veer option. One of the coaches said the other day, say the quarterback at Forest Hill, number one, he runs like he Tommy Frazier. Some of the kids don't know who Tommy Frazier is, but he runs like he Tommy Frazier, man. Forest Hill, listen, they do what they do, and they're going to do it. And I think they threw the ball one time. And they threw the ball one time. It was up 40 when they did it. So they ain't have to do it. They ran the ball almost every play, and you know it's coming. But they're good at what they do. You could tell they well coached. He don't have a lot of personnel. He ain't got 50, 60 guys out there. Those guys go 2-3 ways. But those guys, you could tell they're in shape to be able to do that. You know what I mean? You could tell they got a good offseason to be able to do that. So I really, really, really respect what they got going on there for us here, because I know when you don't have a bunch of talent, you got to try to make do what you got. You know what I mean? Respect goes to programs like that in Forest Hill, programs like Jupiter, programs like Boca, you know what I mean? They don't have a lot of personnel, and they got to be able to get those guys 2 to 3 ways, right? Some of the other programs around the county, 60, 70 guys, man, they can figure it out. But, programs like how we got, that Ironman football, they got to figure it out and play within the phone booth sometimes. You got to do what you got to do, but those guys are well coached. And it's going to be a good game Thursday night, man. I don't expect nothing lighter than that, man. It's going to be a ball game.
With that said, obviously, we want to take care of business and win, start the season, another season of 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
What are some goals that you have for yourself? Obviously nothing game plan stuff, but how are some goals that you have for, obviously for the team that you'll be looking for as opposed to just saying points on the scoreboard? We obviously want to put more points than them, but like, what are some other things that you want to look for that say, okay, I know we're on the right track?
I got an offensive mind, man. So, one thing about me as a coach, because I've been an OC forever, so I got an offensive mind, and I always approach it from an offense standpoint. And with us, it's just about being clean on offense. If we're clean, if we in the right formation, I don't have to call a timeout because a guy lined up wrong. We ain't going the wrong way with our ball handling and things of that nature. Our protection is strong in the passing game. We reading our keys. We understand what it's an even or odd front. So everything that I do offensively, I think like that. So for me, it's just got to be a clean game offensively for me. Also be clean in the special teams. Be clean in that game as well. I think if we clean offensively, we clean the special teams. We can kind of see, we'll let the chips lay where they're going to lay. You know what I'm saying? We'll be fine there. So some of my goals are that, like, let's be clean in our approach. I know for a fact it's not going to be our best team in week 1 and week 2. Our best team will be down the line. But I like to just play a clean game. I like to play a clean game.
Another guy I want to mention before we go was you brought up special teams, man, and I know sometimes he could be an interesting person.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
but I do want to spotlight, man, Chris.
Yes, sir.
The realest, man, our kicker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, who made great kick. I don't think he missed nothing, right?
He missed nothing.
Man, he performed well for us, very well for us.
So last year, We went for 2 every time the whole season. Never even attempted a field goal. And Chris stayed on me all season. Coach Timo, let me kick. And he would send me videos of him working out like all season. So I'm seeing him kick. And I really focus on protection. I really focus on finding us a holder and a snapper and stuff like that for him because I know he's a talent. Chris, another man, just a sophomore. You know what I'm saying? So when I say, we building, man, like we really building this thing, man. Like we got freshmen and sophomore playing in key positions, and Chris is a sophomore. So it's development going on in the program, man. We ain't just doing this by kids saying they come to pump, like transferring the pump. We ain't getting finished products. So these guys are developing within the program. We're playing freshmen and sophomores. Chris is a sophomore, did not miss one kick. We got a 15-yard penalty after a touchdown and backed it up. No blink, no flinch in him. Chris ran right through it, boom. You know what I'm saying? So all kudos to that kid, man. And Chris, just keep working, man. Just keep working.
Yeah, man. Obviously, like you said, we got a big win, but they also got a big win, Forest Hill, man. So what is some, far as mentality-wise, are you going to be instilling this week or this week and the next couple of days into our team to make sure that, hey, we're mentally ready to go? Not just, obviously, we lift weights every day, you know what I'm saying? But as far as keeping them mentally like, hey, let's get this thing rolling mentally wise.
I mean, it's very easy when the team undefeated. It's very easy when the team undefeated. To kind of understand you got to meet energy for energy. Forest Hill ain't not finna come in here as a 1-0 team and think that you just gonna roll out there and just run them over. Forest Hill finna play you both for both, and we gonna come in and play them both for both. So my thing is like, end of the day is like for us, we can't take nobody lightly. We don't overlook nobody. We don't do none of that. You know what I'm saying? Because 2 years ago we was that team that everybody overlooked for 10 games. You know what I'm saying? To a point now that we coming to every game and just thinking like that, like this is our state championship. Every game like that. This is our state championship. We don't think about nothing week 3, week 4, week 5. This Forest Hill our state championship game, and we're gonna take that kind of approach. If you think about like a Rocky when he fought Apollo Creed, right? Everything we do in practice that week, we talk about Forest Hill, and this is a state championship game for us. Ain't no game next week. This is it for us. This is it.
Yeah, man. So one last thing before we get ready to wrap this thing up, man. Well, first, again, the game is on Thursday, 6:30. At Forest Hill, man. So it's going to go be a bittersweet weekend for you this weekend, man. We should take care of business on Thursday, but the 31st.
Yes, sir.
So we got another rivalry amongst the coaching staff,
yes,
man. Florida Gators versus the them other team. You know what I'm saying?
Sir, the Hurricanes.
So man, why Florida Gators gonna win this week?
Listen, have the style split. I got it's some Seminoles and some Gators. And we got some Hurricanes. It's the first year we play all 3 teams play. Everybody always known for years Florida always duck Miami.
Oh, Lord.
Right? And then I think they choose the years based on how they feel like what kind of team they'll have. This year they got a bad draw, man. Like they didn't foresee Cam Ward and Mark Fletcher and Martinez and Ruben Bain and Mezzi and Kiko. I mean, we stacked, man.
That sounds good every year.
Jacoby George, man. I mean, boy, them people loaded. Hey, so this year I can't wait to 3:30. In Ben Griffin. Fourth quarter.
It's the Swamp. I was trying to get into the Swamp.
Don't y'all play the Tom Petty in the fourth quarter, right?
Yeah. Hey, we got Javon Curse doing the 2-bit this week.
Curse doing that. Yeah, gonna be. There's no better year. Florida State did. Listen, we beat Coral Springs and Florida State lost. That was the perfect week. Now I just need he'll take care of Forest Hill. We need to get to the University of Florida game, man, because them people in trouble, man. Is the running back playing this? He hurt, right?
I think he's still there.
It's over. It's over. I don't know when you're back up here.
Yeah, we got the freshman coming in.
They ain't gonna work.
He like.
Yeah. Plus they told me that the other friend called like that.
Same thing y'all said about TV.
He dropped the ball in. I don't ain't no first quarterback. Ain't no first quarterback.
But hey man, that's a Timo show, man. Week 2, man. Make sure y'all
appreciate y'all, man.
Not signing in. Make sure y'all subscribing. Do all that stuff. Y'all know what y'all supposed to do, man. Again, any last words, Coach?
No, that's it, man. Make sure y'all show up at the game Thursday night. It should be a good atmosphere, man, down in Forest Hill. You know, the band, the Ram Regiment, they'll be there. They'll be there, so it'll be a great atmosphere out there at Forest Hill. You know, all the kids pretty much know each other. I think a lot of our zones the same downtown. A lot of their kids from downtown, a lot of our kids from downtown. So a lot of them know each other. Should be a good atmosphere out there. Should be a good game, man. I'm telling you, Forest Hill is a good team, man. So really come watch a good game, man, and with a good atmosphere, man. You know, a good atmosphere. You know, the city will come out. You know, we travel. And Coral Springs seen it. John Carroll seen it. You know, we travel. So, you know, it should be a good atmosphere out there, man. So make sure y'all come check it out.
All right, man. That's Coach Chimo, so man. Signing out. Yup.